Oynish, millennial Jamaican name, food, and language. Hi again everyone, Velnish or welcome to another Oynish vlog. Today I am in Braid Hills, just on the outskirts of Edinburgh, and today I'll be foraging for raspberry. So I am in, I wouldn't say the middle of Braid Hill, but some part in Braid Hill near to Pencaitland, and I've got some raspberries here. As you can see, they're dotted all over. The trees are, there's a large cluster of trees here and here too, but also we've got some raspberries here also down there, but see, I don't think there's any further along. So I'm going to see if I can get some to take home. The good thing is they're all organic. It's nice. They're smaller though. They're probably more tart than the ones you get in the supermarket, but they're still nice. So I am going to, hello again. So here we go. We've got some just here. They're not as big as the supermarket ones, but they're edible, and that's what matters. Here we've got a wee tiny one, and here we've got another one here. So yes, sometimes you have to go amidst the shrubs, I would say. Yeah, but they're all over. As you can see, some are still yet to come up. So I've got myself a container. I've started picking some already. As you can see, my container's got some already. So I'm going to continue, but I'm going to put the head pro on, so I'll be able to use both hands. One maybe to part the trees, and then to pick with the other. So give me a second, let me put the head pro on. Right, hopefully you can see the container, and naturally they'll be washed. So although sometimes people just pick and eat it, no one is dying from picking raspberry in the wilds and eating it. As you can see, nice wee ones here. The only challenge is the smaller they are, the longer it will take you to pick them or to fill a container like this. But I guess it's a part of the experience. So when you're foraging, you have to plan time for it. It's not something you can necessarily rush, and it depends on what you're foraging for. Like for raspberries, and it depends on the size of the container too. I tend to wear, from blackberry, raspberry, etc., I tend to wear one of these, so a long sleeve, so I don't get scratched by stinging nettle, because you find them amidst all the raspberry plants. I'll get one here. See, this one is quite tiny. Sometimes it's good to part the, yes. So there are choices. It's not like you have to just stay in one area to get all of it. You can move along. That's why it's good to find a nice spot where you've got many in one area, so you can pick. And I try not to pick everything in one bit, because remember there are other people foraging too, so I tend to move around, so I can leave some for others. Yeah, so chances are I won't fill my container here. I'll pick some here and move along elsewhere. Here we go. I have to try and adjust the GoPro too, because you won't be able to see where I'm picking it from, so sometimes I have to move it around a bit. So if the view doesn't come out as you wish. And here comes the horse. Oh yeah. Let me see. Let me go around this side. At this time, I'm trying to get some. I'm going to go in another area to forage for some more too. As mentioned, as I said, there are other people foraging, and here's a lady picking some.
Trying them, but no.
Yes, they're quite small, I know, yeah. And tart.
It's too wet.
But it's organic, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, this is what I'm talking about. So as you can see, you have to part these to get to some, and as you can see, here's the nettle plant, the stinging nettle, and it's very uncomfortable if you don't have a long sleeve to get stung by it, scratched by it. It won't kill you, but it's just uncomfortable. That's about it. But I guess if you're foraging for quite a few raspberries, then it becomes more uncomfortable, because you'll always be scratching yourself every few minutes or seconds or so, and after a while you get overpowered by the itchy sensation. But the things we do for our foraged products, as you can see, we've got some larger ones here. I don't know if you can see it properly. So sometimes you have to go a little in to get some more. So chances are when you're foraging, you might see some areas that are, I would say, cut into, because some people might use something to cut through a little area or stamp on some of the branches, so that they can get further in to pick some of the other ones, which sometimes tend to be larger. So there we go. Here's one here. And remember, the raspberry, as you can see, the branches, they've got the jaggy edges on it, so you can get jagged by them, you know. So that's another reason why it's good to wear a long sleeve, maybe a polyester stuff like this, so it can take the impact of the prickly bit. I don't know if I can reach that one there. So I'm getting there. So I move again to another bit, leave some for someone else in that area. Let me just, yeah. So as I said, sometimes it depends on where you forage. Please let me know if some of you forage in areas where the raspberries are larger. Not naturally, you'll get some areas where they are larger, maybe because better growing conditions, and maybe perhaps they don't have to compete as much with other plants for moisture and nutrients. As you can see in this area, there's so many other plants, shrubs, etc. And they're all competing for space, nutrients and moisture, water. And that can have an impact too. And also, like last year when we had weeks of sunshine that leaded up nearing the end of July, the raspberries and even blackberries weren't as large during this time, and some of the cherries weren't as large, nor were they juicy, because they didn't get that summer rain to add to the liquid content of the fruit. So they're dry, and some of them are a bit rotten on the sides. But luckily it have been raining for a few days now, so that helped somewhat to add to make the fruit a lot more juicy. And also more tasteful naturally. So here's what I'm saying. So here you've got someone just dig into a region so that they can access some of the raspberries. And these things tend to grow back, you know, so it's not like they're doing much damage per se, because otherwise they can't reach the ones in the middle. So luckily they make a path for me. So what it means is I can't necessarily use up all the raspberries here. I can take some and leave some for others, because it means that someone have made the path easy for me to get some. So I make sure take a little and leave the rest for others to enjoy the bounty, you know. Welcome to forage etiquette. So maybe what I need to do now is go into another area. So I leave this bit just now and go to another neighboring area. So give me a second, let me go get my bag. So I just keep the container with me here. Maybe I just cover it on my way, get my bag, and see if I can find some a little further down. Yeah, so it means now that there's still plenty to be had here, but it means that the next set of foragers will be able to access some of it and so forth. So I'm sure there should be some more a little further down, so I'm not really worried about getting some more. Sometimes you probably find an area where they're very small, and sometimes it's not even worth picking unless you've got the time and the patience. These ones, they're okay. Some of them are very small, but you get the odd ones. Look at like this one. Yeah, as you can see, it's quite small, so it takes a lot more time to get. So let me go a little down then, see what's available. So here we've got, if I'm sure this is wheat or is it wheat, barley or wheat, one of them. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's really beautiful. It's like a carpet. Look at it swaying in the wind. I like how the Scots make use of the land. The farming is efficient here in Scotland, but I guess throughout the UK too. You know, they make use of land space. I don't know how the land is distributed in the UK in terms of farming. Could it be that you have some lord, some gentry, big landowners from eternity, and they lease land out to farmers, or sometimes it's just families owning farm and just do it themselves? So could be a mixture. This one in particular, I don't know. But if I'm going to go into farming, I'll do fruits. Although fruit farming involved getting people to pick the stuff, which in the UK at the moment they have to hire many immigrants to do the fruit picking, and sometimes under very, very poor conditions. And some of the immigrants aren't really pleased with the condition. So if I'm doing fruit farming, I have to consider that, you know. Apart from the locals, if I'm going to hire immigrants, if I need to meet certain condition or standard of living for them, as well as the locals, obviously. Yeah. But definitely raspberry would be one of the stuff that I would farm. Now it's to actually locate some. I'm trying to. It's many blackberries at the moment. They tend to be 3 times as more blackberries as they are raspberries. So that speaks volume as to which one of the berries respond best in the Scottish climate. Cherries does well, but most of them are quite small too. So where are the raspberries? I thought there were more. This can't all be them. Gosh. Signs of the time. Okay. All right. I'm sure there should be some around here somewhere. It's just blackberries, lots of blackberries. It's going to be a cracker during the next couple of weeks when the blackberries come into play, because they are everywhere. Here we've got look how tiny this one is. Gosh, it's embarrassing even to think of picking it. It's just this one red dot amidst all the green blackberries. Okay, where are the raspberries? Where are those little red gems? Oh, there we go. So we've got some over here, but let's see what condition they are in. Consider also the size. They're there, but no. I'm looking for. Oh, there we go. So here we've got some. Yep. Good. So here we've got a cluster, but these ones are tiny. But at least there's a cluster of many of them in one place, so it's very easy to pick that way. Hopefully you're able to see. Let's see. You see how small they are? And they're just, it's like they're melting away in my hand. You can tell some of them are just so ripe. Yeah. Let me see. Look. See, there's quite a few here, man. They're small though, but we got 1 and 2 medium-sized ones. But the good thing, they're ripe and they're very juicy, which is important. Let me just taste. Let me see if it. Oh, they're sweet. Yep. Still acidic, but sweet enough for me. Look at that. It's just so nice to just have them all here. Just look at that. Wow. And let me see if I can leave that for other foragers. And let me go further down now. So there's some there. There. And some over there too. So there are options. Pardon me, along this path. When I do forage, sorry you're not seeing my face because I've got the head pro and it's just a lot easier when I'm foraging with the GoPro head than when I'm using the handheld, because then I'm not flexible enough for picking and putting in the container. So bear with me if you don't see my face. So I like when I'm foraging areas and there's a nice cluster of particular, say, fruits like blackberries, raspberries or cherry. cherries in one area and I can just pick. Alternatively, like in this area, this farming area, region, like along a path like this, you've got many of them along here. So you can just veer off to the side and pick 1 and 2 along the way. But it's good to have a cluster of them in one area that you can spend few minutes to gather sufficient to fill a container. So let me see. So these are, so the ones in these areas are quite small. You get few medium ones. As you can see, they're quite tiny, most of them. So one have to consider exercising some patience when foraging for them, because they're not going to rush things, you know. So if you want to teach your kids patience, bring them foraging, especially for things like raspberries and blackberries, because they cannot rush the process. Naturally, farmed raspberries is essential, because then the population can maximize the use of them that way, because there will be sufficient to go around. So foraging won't be an efficient way of obtaining raspberries and the necessary nutrients that comes from them, because there won't be a lot to go around if everybody comes foraging. Except there's like an organized system where there's a region where people or organization or whoever grow it for people to forage. But again, when people do grow fruits on a large scale, it's for profit. So chances to find a charitable person having a raspberry farm for people to just come and forage for free is nil at the moment, I think. I don't know if in the UK if there is any fruit farms that they grow specially for people to come and forage for free. But in that case, it would be nice, because it means that they'll get proper sized ones. But then you have to consider the person is operating this stuff, the farm. It's not cheap. So here's a nice, so this is what I'm talking about. Here's a nice region where you can just get loads of raspberries. So it means now that it's handy for many people who are foraging to access all this, even just right along here. As you can see, so you get the same thing, a mixture of medium size to small to medium size raspberries. And as I mentioned earlier on, they have to compete for space, nutrients and water. So that's what you get when you go foraging. Yeah, here's a nice view. Let's see. Yeah, so here someone up. You know, the interesting thing is you can look for signs of foraging because normally signs of foraging is when someone has been here before you. You can see pathway through the plants, indicating that someone had gone further in to get raspberries, which makes it easier for you. Alternatively, you might end up be the person to make that path initially, then others can use the same track to forage for stuff. So I would call it the forager's path. So either you're responsible for making the forager's path, or it's done by the predecessors, the early birds. Here are some nice sized ones. They've been hiding way down here. That's a good thing, you know, you have to sometimes look at these ones. You see them? Hopefully you can see them. Let me put it over, because sometimes I pick them, they fall off so easily, and then they fall on the ground and you can't reach them. So okay, that's that. Let me just get a little bit more here. Sometimes you have to pluck them from the wee stem that it's on. Okay. So filling up nicely. It starts to get chilly now, I can feel it. It's not bad. These ones aren't bad. Let me taste it. Oh, wow. So look at the size of this one. So it's not bad, you see, because some supermarket ones are about that size too. Maybe the medium size supermarket ones are this size. So sometimes it's not so much of a big difference depending on where you shop or which one you pick up in the supermarket. I want to believe that each pack in the supermarket, when they are packaging it, they tend to make sure they can get the sizable ones, and it might be the smaller ones they used to make jam. I think probably that's what they do. So I've got my hold a second, raspberries. So here we go. See? As I see, the container isn't full. Yeah. Thanks for following me on this journey. Foraging in the Braid Hills area, at least part of it. It's a large region, so I'm just in one bit of it. As you can see, the wheat or barley fields, and I've got myself some raspberries. So a few things to bear in mind in terms of foraging etiquette. If you become the forage path maker, naturally others will follow through the path. So this is a path that someone I've made before myself, and I just follow that path to forage. So one essential etiquette is to ensure that you don't consume everything in one go. You pick some from here and there till your container is full. It means that other foragers can access some of the stuff, and that's, you know, decency. Yeah, I think that's probably the main thing. Thanks again for following the foraging vlog for raspberries here in Braid Hills, and hope to join you hopefully when the blackberry comes into play, and hopefully I'll be able to do a cherry one before they are finished, because the birds are consuming the cherries like I'm telling you, like nothing. So see you later.